Dez's night.
I mean, okay, Skip, they gave him a test. It came back inconclusive.
I think they gave him 2 of those.
Came back inconclusive. They said, bruh, we need to test you again.
Yep.
They tested him again. It came back positive.
They had to pull him out of the... He went out for early warm-up.
Yes.
Not the later one, but the early.
Yeah. So I'm confused is what... Skip, and we knew that the NFL was going to play this season. That we're not going to be in a bubble. And they said, look, you're going to have to bear with us because there's a lot of things that we're going to be... that we're going to have to figure this thing out as we go along. The players and the Players Association said, okay, we trust you. You give us the best medical advice. We get false positive. You're going to retest again, and whatever comes of that, okay, we'll live with it. Des, I get it's frustrating. It's the Cowboys over there. And you said you didn't need a catch, but it was more than a game. Well, how are you going to impact it if you didn't catch the ball? I get it, Des. Des has been away from the game for 2 years, Skip. It seems like an eternity, and he didn't know if he was ever going to get this opportunity again. So it's frustrating that he finally got called up to the big, it's like you play in JV and then you get called up to the varsity and you're playing now. You're like, hey, man, I'm getting a few snaps on the varsity. You're feeling good. But I don't really know what Des want the NFL to do. Did they want him to, oh, man, bro, I'm already this far. Just let him go out there with a positive? No. They can't. So, Des, look, I understand your frustration, but don't let a momentary of disappointment lead to something long-term where you says, I'm done with this. Go through the process. You got 2, if you're positive, I think you got to miss at least 10 days. You got to miss 2 games. I think this is a game. You probably miss next week's game, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay, Des, but I don't really know what Des wants the NFL to do in this situation. I think the NFL did the only thing that they could do.
Yeah, I agree. So the first thing I'd like to say is I think the National Football League has done a phenomenal job of getting this season this far along with no bubble to protect, like the NBA.
They thank you. And they've moved games. It's not like college. I mean, college is canceling games left and right.
Left and right.
They postponed them, but none have been canceled thus far.
So I'm pretty sure no team has had such a flurry of positives as the Ravens, because they've had 24 positives since November 23rd. That's an outbreak, right?
Yes.
And just as they seemed to be coming completely out of the outbreak, as they were getting most of their players, if not all, the positive tests back for this game last night, this happened. And I do believe what the league said about inconclusive. And now you're getting up to game time, and you call him in for what they call a rapid test and get an immediate result, and you're positive. Okay, so it's a fair question to ask. Was there contact tracing? Was there any hint of, gee, we could be in trouble here because he had crossed paths with so-and-so or
Well, yeah, he had to have crossed paths, Skip. He wasn't out there playing catch by himself.
He was out there, and it was reported he was not wearing a mask out there, and that he was sort of fraternizing with a couple of the Cowboys. I don't know how close they got to each other.
Yeah, because normally, Skip, you play. I remember when I played, hey, I went into the Broncos locker room and talked to the athletic trainers and talked to a few of the players. When I went back and I came back and I went back and I've talked to the Ravens players. So it's hard for me to believe he had no contact.
In early warm-ups, would you have ever fraternized with somebody you knew? Would you wave to somebody?
I didn't go outside. I was very superstitious. I would just go to the locker room, things like that. And then before the game, you know somebody, you like, hey man, good luck. Hey, I'll talk to you after the game. But more times than not, if you played with that team or you know somebody, Skip, you would probably go, like I said, you get there early, you go in the locker room and you talk to the equipment guys, and if some of the coaches over, you talk to them earlier. But it's like I said, it's hard for me to see a scenario in which he did not come into contact with anyone.
Okay, got it. So I'm going to knock on this wood over here that neither team has another little or big outbreak from this incident last night with Dez. Now I'm back to Dez himself. He is very entertaining on social media, to his detriment, to me. He's on his last legs, so to speak, and he's had nothing but trouble with his legs, obviously.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally, yep. He's 32 years of age. I'm just not sure anybody else is going to give him another shot.
No.
And he immediately, as they say, takes to Twitter. And here he goes. And he's going in on the NFL and on the Ravens and blah, blah, blah. And then it's just going, I'm quitting. This is the end. Another social media victim to me, because no GM or owner is going to love that he immediately goes preaching to his choir about, oh, woe am I. Well, I was sorry for him. I'm sure you were sorry for him.
But Skip, let me ask you a question. The people that he was seeking validation from, what can they do?
Nothing.
They don't own a team.
No. And they're going to tell you what you...
Yeah, you're right, Dan. That's messed up. NFL, y'all need to stop this.
Yep.
Bruh, you understood what you were getting in.
Yeah.
You're trying to do a sport that's not in a bubble. Think about it, Skip. You think about it, they said, okay, in the NBA bubble, Skip, you could only bring 37 people. But they was like, you brought basically the bare essential, and then as you advanced, you brought more and more, and you got up to 37.
Per team.
Per team.
Yes.
Skip, do you realize it's 53 just players alone?
53.
And then you figure, Skip, there are more coaches on an NFL team than players on an NBA team.
Yeah.
So how in the hell you gonna bubble-rize, Skip, 32 teams and about 80 players? 80 players and coaches. And that's not even front office. That's just players and coaches. What about your med staff? What about your equipment crew?
Yep. And a number of teams have been pretty clean all the way through. Very impressive.
You just gotta hope guys are like, guys, you can't be going to clubs, and you can't be. This is the one time we're asking. We're not trying to tell you about your social life and all this, but we're in uncharted territory. So we're going to ask you to do uncharted things. Bear with us. And you hope your players understand, because the last thing you want, Skip, is that you go into a playoff game, and Lord forbid, Skip, I don't even knock on wood, but somebody of a Mahomes or somebody of a Big Ben gets this. And you got to play this game, because the NFL says we're not moving it for competitive balances, only to maintain an outbreak. And you're screwed.
Yeah, I would agree. So back to Dez, back to the end of the night, him on Twitter. At one point he tweets, "I'm not drunk yet." And then he says later, "If you guys are with me tonight, post your glass of wine." And I saw 11 quick posts of glasses of wine.
That's what he should you know what? I saw him sitting on the bench. He had his phone.
Yeah, he did.
He should have powered it down and stuck it in his pocket.
No, I agree.
Nothing good was going to come of that.
Because the truth is, Dez Bryant, the beginning of the end of Dez Bryant was the ball that he did catch and score with. And just for old time's sake, can we just see it one more time? Because this was the beginning of the end of Dez Bryant. He caught it. He slammed it on the goal line with his left hand, because he's left-handed like a running back would do. Boom, touchdown.
He didn't catch it.
It's a touchdown. He ran 1-2 steps with it.
That was the best.
That's as much of a catch as I've ever seen.
That was the best thing that Mike McCarthy has ever done. He challenged that. And after further review, the receiver went to the ground. He did not maintain possession throughout the entirety of the catch. Therefore, it is incomplete. Green baseball. That's what he said.
This was vintage Romo jump ball to Dez, right?
Did you not hear what the official said? What did the official say, Skip?
Well, one right there raised his arms. Right?
He don't know what he's talking about.
Well, he's right on top of it.
But he ain't got no microphone. He ain't got the white hat on. I listen to the guy with the white hat on.
Okay. So, to me, if that's not a touchdown, I will eat Dez's helmet. That's
you better get to eating.
But the point is, that was the end of 2014. He got his money in the next training camp, as he had earned his money. And then it started to unravel. His
body started breaking.
Everything started to go. Broken leg, Liz Frank fracture. He had, and then it led all the way to the Achilles tear at New Orleans. When he had a shot with Sean Payton, there was no shot.
I think the thing is, Skip, is that Dez was basically a one-trick pony.
Yep.
I like Dez, and he worked hard, but Skip, all he had was the ability to get 50-50 balls.
Yep.
He didn't run routes.
Nope.
So as you age and you no longer have that athleticism, what's your out now?
And remember, he had a quarterback who loved to throw and jump balls. The next quarterback, number 4, who came after Romo, did not love throwing and jump balls.
And that's the thing, Skip. I was talking to Roy Jones for my podcast. He says the thing that's hurting Deontay Wilder is that he's basically a one-trick pony. And the thing is, with Fury, Fury can do multiple things.
He's a boxer.
He said people look at Mike Tyson with all that power, but Mike Tyson is actually a very sound boxer.
I agree.
And so Dez learned how to run out routes and run comebacks and run other things, he could have been. But now all of a sudden, Skip, he doesn't have the athleticism to go up over people. He doesn't have the athleticism to get that 50-50 ball. Now what, Skip, he's 32, Achilles, Liz Frank, a leg, Skip.